I launch my manifesto for Britain's future. A manifesto to see us through Brexit and beyond. It is a detailed programme for government, rooted in the hopes and aspirations of ordinary working people across the land.
Emboldened by Brexit, the Conservatives are trying to capitalise on what Theresa May called a quiet revolution. Now, an electoral headwind, after a strong showing in local polls, has carried the Tories into Labour heartland, the North East.
So I'm Deanna Davison, I'm the Conservative candidate for Sedgefield. And we are, at the moment, right in the cut and thrust of our campaign.
At 23 years old, Deanna Davison is the fresh face of a party trying to reinvent itself on the doorsteps of Sedgefield, a town that has gone Labour since the 1930s.
Hello there, Mr Donahue. Just wondering if you are likely to be supporting me in the general election.
I would think there's probably a good chance.
Yeah?
And I come from quite a solid Labour background, but I don't like their leader.
Jeremy?
Yeah, he's not very good.
We have, many people telling us that Labour are not the party that they once were, that they can't support Labour anymore, and that instead they're sending their support over to me.
Sedgefield, a constituency of 66,000 eligible voters, holds a symbolic value for the Labour Party. The seat was held by Tony Blair for more than 20 years. But it was his landslide victory in 1997 that set the stage for his rise to become Prime Minister.
It may not look like it now, but this building was a center of Labour power. It was here that Tony Blair consecrated a new Labour after the party cemented its largest ever electoral victory. But 20 years later, many Labour supporters feel that the party has strayed from its roots, leaving them with little but an unfamiliar facade.
Well, I want to vote for the person who's going to do right by the country, get it back on its feet again and do what we can to raise it back up to be a great England, the Bulldog era.
Frida has been voting Labour for 50 years, but this time she's going to give Theresa May and the Conservatives a chance.
Well, a lot of people I've spoken to have said they're not voting Labour again. They're not voting for Labour this time. They're going for somebody who can look after the working class or give them a better chance. And I think if Corbyn gets in, I think it's frightening. I don't even want to think about what would happen to my grandchildren and them that's going to follow.
Opinion is changing and it's moving towards Labour. I'm very proud to present our manifesto for the many, not the few. Thank you very much.
Jeremy Corbyn's brand of politics, for many, represents a departure from the days of Blair's centrist government. What some say is actually a return to Labour's socialist roots.
Areas like this is where it's hit most.
Deepu Ahad, the councillor for Elswick, a low-income part of Newcastle, says things have gotten worse for people living here.
7 years of austerity, 7 years of putting our communities on their knees, 7 years of cuts to the council, which has put the city council on its knees, and just not Newcastle City Council. Party for the people. You come and ask the people here what they live through on a daily basis. They're not the party for the people, they never will be.
My name's Shamal Rahman, I'm a paramedic, well, I work for the NHS. I was born and brought up in Newcastle. There's people who are really struggling out there. People who aren't getting the support that they need and the help that they need. And that hurts as a community. I think they're trying to brand Jeremy Corbyn as weak, while really he's talking sense and he's standing up for that everyday people. We've always voted Labour, that's what the North's really about.
While support wavers for Labour in some areas, many in this community feel confident that Labour will keep its legacy as the Workers' Party. Randolph Nogle, the Newsmakers in England's North East.